cryptocurrency and the gap later on between Lloyd and Geoff today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the doomsday and the predictions that Gordon made and something that could be affecting the dates of that. And I'll see if I can get a chart ready for that and run it through for you guys. So do hang around. I'll give you some possibilities, not some definites because this is trading. But look, great to see so many of you in the room today. Nice to have your company. Shukri, are you with us?
Yes, and it's doomsday indeed.
Oh, mate, doomsday it was on the crypto market, wasn't it, mate?
Totally.
My understanding from having a look earlier is that she still ain't going up. What are we now, 34,270?
Yeah.
Still a bit on the right side. Not the disaster it was, sort of late Thursday, but been a rough week for crypto.
Very, and I'll tell you why. Okay, this is good. Julian mentioned that was much volatility, so this has gone to extreme fear, which is good, because last month it was greed, which is never good. So a lot of air has been let out. Now, where is the bottom? We don't know, but here is a very important chart that shows to you the fear and greed index. So when it goes down here, which is extreme fear. And look at this. This is the last one, right? This is 25th March 2020. This is today. So look at this, how long it stayed in extreme fear. So that's why I said now is not the time to do anything, because I think it's going to stay down here, because here is what happened. Now, if we look at all that, where the bottom was, where it hit the extreme fear.
Sorry, you might just take us back to your fear and greed thing.
Yeah, it's basically this. When people
are...
Okay,
how do you measure fear and greed on crypto?
Okay, it's like leverage. The simplest thing is leverage. When people take leverage, they are very, very greedy, and that drives up the funding costs. And that goes down, and of course, then you have liquidations. Now, let me tell you the problem with last week. So I did I mention it in the show that I said it was quite weird that there was not enough liquidation, because there was already liquidations here. So maybe people deleverage and then they leverage again. And this bar caught everyone, almost everyone off guard, because 800,000 accounts were blown away. That means they become zero. They went from whatever they went to zero. That's the problem with leverage trading. And I still, if you are going to leverage trading, you really have to be careful, because here's the deal. In some accounts, you could not even get into your account. So you must have everything set up. If you do not have everything set up, anything can happen, your stop losses or whatever.
So, let me ask you about this, Shukri. I like to make sure I make this really clear for the people watching. And this is kind of new to me, so I'd always have a good chance for me to ask you some questions. But so what you're saying is, the guys that have got some crypto in a wallet somewhere, they can't get liquidated because it's still worth $30,000 for God's sake. It's still worth some money, right?
Yeah.
But guys who had money in eToro, Fusion, except these kind of guys with a leverage, 800,000 of those accounts, the Robin Hood boys, got a little look at reality. They understood. The Robin Hood guys will be better traders for this experience because they've just learned a little bit about trading that they can enjoy, right?
Correct, Paul. Totally cleaned out. Now, 800,000 is a big number, and that's why it's going to take time to kind of okay, I can say this is the bottom. Doesn't matter. It's going to take time for things to recover. I'm looking at mid-June, end of June, because I just can't, if it goes up, some people will let go of half the position, even if they're believers. This is a fact, because people just want to be protected. Now the question is, what happened to my eToro account that you saw at 521% last week?
And I'm going to ask you another question. Before you show us how good you are at shorts, and I know you smashed it because you're a clever little guy. You are a clever man. But so what you're telling me is the selling included 800,000 accounts being force sold.
Yes.
So they're hitting margin, and it's just going sell it.
Yes.
So a huge amount of the selling is just really a part of the lack of institutional structure in Bitcoin, where these things are allowed to happen without quite the same level of control as in perhaps the stock market with a cutout, and these things don't happen quite so much, right? So interesting. So you think that the leveraged accounts got the guys hurt, right?
Yes. And here's the thing, Paul. Just imagine if you had a leverage account, you couldn't even go into the account. Some accounts you couldn't even go in. You just couldn't access. The traffic was too huge. This has not happened once, okay? So the guys who were burned out on leverage, I'm sorry, but I want to tell you, this has happened so many times. Why were you on leverage in the first place? That's
so rule number one of crypto: stay out of the leverage. It's too volatile in the first place. What are you doing leverage trading something that crashes 25% a day, right?
Correct. Don't do that, because if you don't stay out of, let's look at it on perspective. Like I had a rule that, you know, I was my maximum drawdown in my portfolio was -20. And here's the result. I finally took the profit out after like 5.5 months. It's 421% up. That's the situation. And that's it. So this hit -18.77. So we were still in, and it went up here, and this hit it was beyond. I got out at -16. The only thing I'll change here next time is I will base it on the ATH instead of the daily close, then I would have gotten more. But this account is already in US dollars. Guys, this has no leverage. I don't know why people need leverage. You really don't.
Yeah, you've made 420% with no leverage and no possibility of going to zero.
No possibility of going to zero. So
unless Bitcoin goes to zero.
Unless Bitcoin goes to zero.
So what you're saying is you can just make ridiculous money without taking stupid risks.
Yes, don't even take a risk, because it becomes stupid for one day. You know, because you're overconfident.
If there's someone listening to this who got cleaned out, I'm sorry if we sound a bit frivolous about it, because we're really not. We're all traders, and we've all faced these risks, and we really understand. But I think, look, over the weekend I was away with some friends playing golf, and people just asked me time after time after time about crypto, and I told them, this is my opinion. If you want to trade this stuff, you study it full time for 3 months and then you trade it, or you get a team of 10 of your friends who can trade it, who can study it together for weeks, and then you trade it. But this has changed. This is not just amateurs throwing money at the market anymore, because amateurs throwing money at the market in this now are getting found out. And that's all that's just happened here. All that's just happened here is the amateurs have been found out. And honestly, my heart goes out to them, because it's always the amateurs that get smashed. In the end, you know, they're always ones that hurt. But there'll be some great lessons for those that want to become good at this with a bit of time for this. Back to you, mate. I don't interrupt you.
And it's cruel, you know, because on May 12th, you got 10 billion liquidations. So we thought that was over, right? And then suddenly it happens again, another 8 billion. That's cruel, you know, that is crypto. But look at this. This account is still, look at the perspective. This account has gone up 5 times. Look at that. So that's, please no leverage, guys. You don't need to now. The other good thing is this now. I trade this on the most boring cryptocurrencies ever. These are the old coins, and look what happened. And this is why my target for this account is now 1,000% by the end of the year. So come to the trading class. I tell you why. Don't believe me. I'll tell you why. I'll show you the simple chart. One of the charts that I did going up was Dash. Paul, look at this. It's come back to this range, to Geoff's famous range. So I know the numbers within this range. It hasn't gone up to the all-time high. I have something measurable. If you are going to a new crypto, you do not know where you're going. You have no idea. So this is something that's kind of good for me. I'm familiar with that number. I knew what I was doing here. I know the resistance. I know the support. So I'm just waiting for things to calm down first. Don't do anything. And if you look at all the things I'm trading, I'll tell you, like Dash, Litecoin, Neo. If you look at YouTube, guys, nobody covers this. These are the most boring things in the world. So in these times, the boring stuff works, no leverage, you're okay.
Yeah, look, I just think it's one of those things, Shukri, you know, people, it's easy if people get on, and you're a great example. You get on, you talk about crypto, and you get excited, and it flows along, and there's this and that. Don't miss the really important stuff, guys. If you're trading this stuff, don't trade it on a leveraged Forex account. You know, and if you do, look, I traded this on, in fact, thanks to Gordon, actually, I bought Bitcoin on Fusion at 32,000. I sold it at 58,000. I sold it because of the doomsday stuff from him, right? But I did it at, you know, even on my real accounts, I do it at very small risk, because it is leveraged, you know, and I know the risk. And if you're going to carry a product through a weekend that you can't exit, and that's what's happening on a retail broker. There's no way out. You're going to wake up Monday morning. You could be happy. You could be very, very sad. You've got to be really cautious. And this is experience people are learning right now. And, you know, I'm not sure I agree with you, Shukri. You say it'll be June before it recovers, but that depends on something. Yeah. That depends on whether there was a seller here who knew there was 800,000 accounts to liquidate, and he's just rolled them out, and he's going to buy it down here. and whether there's some of the big guys here have targeted these guys, and if they have, they'll be in Monday, Tuesday buying it.
Yes.
Now, I'll tell you in a few minutes why I think they might not be in buying it, but this we're going to add to the list. But yeah, if it really is, if someone's had a run at the amateurs, then the person who had a run at the amateurs, the professional, he'll be in at some stage looking to buy at these levels.
Yes. And here's one thing. Okay, guys, I have said this numerous times, already mentioned. I just sold some of my cryptos, to pay this thing, again, by the way, although I still sold it to pay future tax. Look, Janet Yellen has already said that any $10,000 transfer of cryptos needs to be reported to her. So you and I know that every single government in the country is going to start taxing us. I know it's hurting, guys. I know we got, some of us got blown away. It's down, and now they're coming to us for tax. That's life, guys.
The best part of this, Shukri, for the governments.
Yeah.
All those Robin Hood boys that got smashed on Thursday and Friday lost their accounts.
Yeah.
They'll have paid tax last quarter on how much they were up.
That's right.
They won't be getting a rebate from the government on what they just lost. There'll be The government's all of a sudden, the government's becoming the world's biggest crypto fans, I have a feeling. They have made some money out of crypto in the last few months. Mate, is that you for the cross?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. I'll have a chat with you tomorrow if that's okay. We do have some stuff to talk about.
Don't do it. And again, lesson is the old things work, okay? The boring cryptos work. Guys, please, I've told, I know I sound like a broken record, but I will say again, no leverage, no leverage, no leverage. You should be okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Shukri. I'm pleased we made it. It's one of the things we want to be doing is, we're a financial education company. We want to give people good financial advice.